Hi, welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a good break. So our next speakers are Lynn Zhang and Jennifer Parra McDougall from the County of Santa Clara's Office of the Assessor. So Lynn is a GIS analyst in the Office of the Assessor here at the County of Santa Clara and has worked in the GIS industry for over a decade. Prior to joining the county, she worked for the City of San Jose and Department of Information Technology at Solano County. Lynn has two master's degrees, one in GIS and the other in economics. She also has two professional certificates, GISP and PMP, Project Management Professional. Jennifer Parra McDougall is an associate GIS analyst also in the Office of the Assessor. She digitizes drawings and inputs them into a GIS database in preparation for distribution to county departments, needs, and integrates GIS applications for the broader use of GIS as a whole. Prior to joining the Office of the Assessor and the county, Jen worked for the Toyota Research Institute in their Autonomous Vehicles division. Originally, she started out as a teacher for 5 years and then switched profession to GIS. She first worked as a TA for GIS courses, then as a contractor building out Apple Maps. Thank you so much, Lynn and Jennifer. We're just excited to have you today. And I think we're starting with you, Jennifer, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I will definitely start.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Lynn and I are going to be talking about how we use GIS in the assessor's office, both internally and externally. And yeah, everybody welcome. So just really quick, I'm going to give a quick brief introduction about what GIS is. I'm really hoping that we can kind of bring people in who are unfamiliar with GIS and kind of explain to them what it's for, how it's used, those sorts of things, why it's important. And then I'll give a demo of our external web mapping application. Then we'll hear from Lynn regarding how we use GIS a little bit more internally. And then we will close and follow up with any questions. So a little introduction. Why is mapping important? I know we kind of, like the keynote, talked about this a little bit. And then what is GIS and why is the assessor's office utilizing GIS? So there's a great need for maps to represent information that's accurate and as up to date as possible. We just kind of heard about that of updating data and how to make that a really seamless transition. As you have been hearing, maps are now made from something called a geographic information system, or GIS. The geographic part is obviously the map, the two-dimensional 3D map. It could be a map that represents topography, it could be a parcel map, as in the case in the assessor's office. It can be anything that has to do with the spatial aspects of our world. The I part is the actual attributes, so the information that is built in behind the map. So every one of the polygons that you'll see in the web map application has intelligence behind it or information within it. That's what gives these online maps their interactive capabilities, and these attributes help us to understand the characteristics of everything that we're mapping. So the GIS, in essence, is essentially a planning and tracking tool. And in the assessor's office, we utilize the GIS to relay that assessment information to the public and efficiently track and update that information to release an accurate annual assessment roll. And so this is what our tool looks like. I will just give you a quick little demo of what our application does. So if you navigate to the Office of the Assessor website as sccassessor.org, you'll see a tab in the header that says online services. And in that first column under property search, there's an option that is search by map. And that is the assessor's office web mapping application. And so something that's really powerful about GIS mapping is the ability to add different layerings of information. So in this initial view, what you essentially see is a topographic base map of essentially the general area, and then the county border is in gray. And then if you want to see additional layers of that information, you'll click on what looks like a stack of papers, and it'll open the layer list. And I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit so we can see a little bit more. You'll notice that some of these options are grayed out. They're grayed out right now because they're not visible at this zoom extent. So as you zoom into the map, you'll kind of see different layers become more available. And if you don't start to see them in the range that you're looking for, you can click on this ellipsis to the side and it'll open up some different options for you. You can either zoom to the whole layer. You can adjust the transparency. So if you have a number of different layers showing, but you really want one to be more pronounced or fade into the background, you can change that transparency. And then that visibility that I was mentioning, you can change the visibility range by toggling this over. And then you can see the parcels will pop up at that zoom level. Also, over here in this layer list, you have the option to, actually, let me turn those parcels back on. You have the ability to toggle the layers on and off, which can be useful when you're gonna see the imagery a little later. And then this little caret here, this arrow at the top is useful because the mapping space is a little bit small on this web page. So if you kind of click that on and off, you'll be able to see more of your map. And then, so let's take a look at a specific example of how to use the search function within our interactive map. So over here is the search bar. The best and easiest way to use it is just the default of the all. And so let's take a look at us here at the assessor's office at 70 West Heading. Our APN is 259-04013. And as you'll notice, when you click return, it'll automatically zoom you to the parcel of interest. And then I don't know if you also notice, so now all of the actual layers are not grayed out anymore. So they're all visible and they're all available. So you'll see that we have these county imagery layers, and you can turn them on and off, and you can kind of see what has changed in the area between those different years that we have listed. In the county, not a lot has changed because this building has been here for a long time. So just something else useful over there. Also, up here at the top, there's a legend. That'll just show you how the parcels are represented. So they're kind of in this yellow, orangish color. So after you've searched for an address or an APN, like we did before, it'll automatically pop up with some information for you. So it'll pop up with the information from the most recent roll year. And so by transitioning our paper maps to this GIS, it actually allows us to make maps in a more dynamic way, which has huge implications for making high quality data and then making the information more readily available to the public. It allows people to access the information without actually having to have that physical piece of paper. They can also have it as a physical piece of paper, but that physical media can be a little bit clunky and wasteful of time and resources to produce. So now we have what is called data as a service. So this application is a service that is linked to our data sets. And one of the nice and many advantages is that it's scalable. We can zoom in and out. You can turn on and off different various layers. And it also links out to additional resources, which is what shows up in this pop-up. So if you click on additional information, it'll pop out to our property information page for that selected APN. And something that I want to highlight for actual like public use and something that we get questions about a lot is, what's my most recent deed? Like what does my grant deed look like? And so from this property information page, you can find your most recent reported deed here in this document number, which you can then take to the county clerk reporter, and they can provide you a copy with that information, and they can help you kind of look up additional documents as needed. And then if you click on the other button, which is the Assessor map link, it'll automatically download a PDF of the book and page of the page that your parcel is a part of in the Assessor's map book. And something I wanted to point out, so the way in which we come to what your actual APN number is made up of the assessor book, so 259, the page 04 in this case, and then the actual parcel number, so 013, and that's us here at 70 West Heading in the at the assessor's office, the county building. And I also just wanted to point out, when we get questions about how to read these maps, here's just a little background is like, you'll have some of those dimensions there on the inside. And then if you're looking for the address, it'll be in italics near the street if it's available. And then when people are often doing research about their property, they're asking about historical maps or how did my parcel come to be this way. Often that information is located in these little kind of labeled tabs. So ROS stands for Record of Survey. And you can take this book and page and actually obtain a copy of those more historic maps of how your parcel got to be how it was. So that's just a little background on that. And then also in this pop-up, there's an ellipsis down here at the bottom. And there's an option to add a marker. So I'm actually going to move this a little bit. And add that marker again right here. And so if you click on the marker, it actually generates a unique URL for this actual view of the map. And if you're talking to a realtor, if you want to share it with family, it really gives you the opportunity to be like, here is the place that I'm actually interested in. This is what I'm talking about. So you don't have to like continuously go to the interactive map, look something up, and then go through all the steps again. If you're compiling information, you can like save access to these links and then just have them for later use, which is exceptionally helpful. You can also remove the markers if you're all done with them. And that'll come into play with the print function. So if you want to print the actual view of the map that you see on the application, you can go to the print option and rename it. So let's say we want to name it 70 West Heading. You can change the layout, whichever format you want to print it in, and then go ahead and print. It does take a couple seconds to generate the actual print, but then you will end up having, in this case, you'll have a PDF of the actual view of what we're looking at. And it's being a little slow today. And there it goes. So we'll open it up. And this one, I didn't center it or anything, but it just kind of gives you a general idea of kind of, you can print these things out and have them for later use if you'd like. And then, excuse me, there's an information icon here at the top as well. It just gives you a short overview of what the application is used for. And then it also has our contact information in the mapping department. So if you have questions of how to utilize the map and what it's comprised of, you can always contact us. So this tool essentially is available to empower you with the skills to obtain your own personal maps and find answers to your questions, or kind of like starting to facilitate how to answer those questions. And then now I will actually send it over to Lynn, and she's going to talk about our, yeah, and these were just a couple little reminders of how to use that application, search by map. And then in that layers functionality, that stack of papers icon that represents the layer list, the ellipses are really important in that mapping application and how to utilize it. And then in the search option, remembering that the easiest way to utilize the search option is by the all. And then when you are searching by APN, making sure to leave out the dashes, it will only take numerical characters. And then when you search using the address Esri, it will actually give you suggestions for the address, which might match your query. It will automatically zoom to the result, like I mentioned. And then for that pop-up, all of those additional information, Assessor Map Link that can provide you with a good jumping off point for looking into your property more. And yeah, sorry. And now I'll hand it over to Lynn.
Thanks, Jen. I'll briefly introduce our Assessor's GIS map. It's a workflow integration. So it features, we talk about data, we can visualize all the data in our office, such as weekly updated APNs, book, page, inactive layers, assignments, any data we needed for this office. The second thing is it's an integration. It has links to open our internal database, such as AIMS, base, our document system. And we can also see the parcel maps linked to Google Street View, 3D Google Earth, symbol of Lake Viewer, Recorder's Office. Through the Recorder's Office, you can find all the plans and all kinds of documents available for the county. So, and links to the Surveyor's Office, we can find all the track maps. It has rich functions such as, search map, all of this. I will do a demo to show this. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. So from the first thing, it's all the basically all the data, the layer list, all the data. So we have a lot of data in our office. So, and we have many years of image data. So on another tab called the layers information, you can see all these layers about, what information these layers will provide. For example, if I just look at the city layer, let's see, city. We click this one, the city layer will show. But we click the city layer, it has, more information or link to the city zoning layer, general plan layer. For example, I want to see the permit link. It will open the permit link. And we have instructions for the appraiser how to, do this. See, they have instructions on this. And that's about the data. The second one, I want to show the, the links. See, we link to the Recorder's Office for document search. We have the Surveyor's Office for track maps. Those are actual maps. And we also have the user guide, the training videos. And, we have other internal links. For example, if you, you don't know your APN, but you don't know your address, but you live, I live close, say 200 East Santa Clara Street. So you can search by this address, San Jose. So it will, so when you, let me turn the city layer off. So when you zoom in further, you can see the APNs all show up. When you click this, it will give you more information. You see the actual address. So through the APN link, that one will goes directly to our internal AIMS and on-base database. You can see all the information regarding this parcel, including like who own this property, how many percentage own, each party own, values, historic values, document number. When you click document number, it will goes to on-base, our management system. You can see actually the deed, look at the legal description or all other documents. So this parcel map goes to our parcel map. I will go through only two of them. One is called Street View, another part of Lake View. Through this Street View, see, you can see this street. See, appraisers make, you can look at street nearby to verify some data. Another thing I want to see is a Lake Viewer. So this is symbol, high resolution of Lake Viewer. Thank you, symbol. So you can look at property from different angle, from different, actually it linked to Sanborn's reach function. For example, if you're appraiser, this is a commercial property, you can, it takes some time to, okay. So you can measure the height, the length, see it's already set. If you have cadastral mapper, so you can just, if you want to see this parcel, so you can roughly get the lot size for this one, or the area assembled with different units. So let's go back. For example, I'm an old citizen. I don't know. I have an old APN, but I want to know more information about my property history, and and I want to know what's going on right now. So when you tap the APN, our APN take any format, with the dash, yeah, it can take, yeah. So when it will goes to these old parcel, so we know that's part 51, and the one partial of them become a condo complex. And when you look at this, you can say, oh, it was retired in 2005. We go to this tab, it will go to link to our aims and, go inside our on-base document system. You can see all the documents, including the old grant deed. So let's get rid of this. Let's back to our, in the assessor's office as a cadastral mapper, you we won't care about, the pages. When you zoom in, you can zoom out, you can see those are pages. So that one will show you which book and page you currently appears person in that page. When you click them, you can see the parcel map for this one. And books are basic building block for this for our place assignment. For residential place, you can search by your name from here. And for commercial, we build 2 widgets. One is the district of 4 and 5. You can search, each supervisor can see his territory. Each appraiser can see only her or his assignment. And we have 6 and 8. 6 and 8, why the different? 6 and 8 based on type. If you search by type, you can see, for example, who is the appraiser for all the large apartments. That tab will show you which appraiser, each appraiser, what their assignment is. So when you click apply, they will generate their Excel sheet, and you can export them. So that's something, and we have some functions. We have like a big search, that one you have a long search by everything. But we also have a short search, some you can search by use code, track number, that one will be faster. We have the option of add nodes to the draw, and we have the option of select cursors from and export them from the select. Those are standard ESI operations. I should do 2 quick fun slides. So I like the bookmark. You can always save here. For example, I wanted to use here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You just click again. So that's a swipe. Help you to, let me make the zoom bigger. So it will help you see, that's the base map. So you see it wasn't there a long time ago. You see the changes, swipe it. And I do my last fun things. it's called elevation widgets. This one I got from the ESA community. So with the help of our RS team, we put it as custom widgets through standard. And we use actually a server enterprise. So when you draw this, you see the elevation changes. So see, it moves down one. You can see actually when you move, actually the elevation changes. It is originally I want to build it as a slope tool for visualization, but so I restrict the Y up to 1,000. So each you know, you can they're comparable through you know, different parcels because Y is standard. As long as you control your X, X, you know, the walking distance the same, they can compare. So you can see the elevation changes when people move. That is the end of my demo. The integrated application links with different database applications are more like a handbook with different chapters. I believe, yeah, a centralized create efficiency. So and another thing about the data, we update data as needed to maintain its accuracy. So for example, every Monday morning, you can see last Friday's ATM data. So let me hand back to Jen. Thanks, Jen.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lynn. Yeah, and so general takeaways. The assessor's office is really striving to maintain a really high level of accuracy and efficiency when we're producing our annual assessment roll. Paired with that mission is a really great need for information transparency, especially when providing that assessment related information to the public. I also want to mention so that the data that's presented on our web mapping application is updated every July, and it's based on all of the changes that happened in that roll year. So anytime you put in a change, if you want to split a parcel, do something like that, that information will show up on the subsequent roll year. And so our GIS web map application is actually our direct link to the public. And this tool is a step towards making information more accessible and a move forward technologically for the office. And we're just continuing to make modifications for things that we use internally and hoping to push the office forward some more. Yeah, and we just wanted to say thank you for everyone who has participated and showed up. And
at the very end, I will give my big sincere thanks to Jennifer Zane. She's a appraiser in our office. She initiated this project. And thank you, Greg, John, Raquel, Neil, David, Pete, Juan, Nora, Madero for their support to push this project through.
Awesome. And yeah, if there are any questions.
Yeah, hi, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Lynn. We actually do have a few questions, but I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and collect them and make sure you all get them, and we'll have and be able to respond to them on the website because we just have just a few minutes left. But that was a great presentation. Thank you both. We really do appreciate it. We're actually have accounts from the assessor here for our operations center, so we always appreciate partnership from all the presenters that spoke today. So thank you again, and we'll go ahead and start another 10-minute break and return at 12:10. Thank you so much, everyone.